6 exercises that transform thin legs into thick ones. It works even if you have bad genetics. Training legs is, by far, one of the things men hate most at the gym. It's no wonder that old, overused joke never dies. Oh, today was leg day. But I tripped at the entrance, and when I realized it, I was already doing bench press. And when they do train, many do it on autopilot, without real intensity, just to be able to say they didn't skip the workout. The truth is, almost nobody likes a real leg workout. Nobody wants to feel nauseous, dizzy, heart racing, that feeling like you're going to pass out in the middle of the set. But running from this has a high price. Thin legs, and that disproportionate physique looking like an inverted triangle. That's why today you'll see 6 exercises that attack exactly this problem, and that work even for those who think they have bad genetics for legs. I prefer to say think, because many have normal genetics, totally possible to develop. But use this excuse to justify lack of training for the reasons we mentioned before. Before we start, please tell us through the comments your name and the city where you're watching our content from. We'd love to know. Exercise number 6. Bulgarian split squat. The Bulgarian split squat is one of the most efficient movements to develop quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings unilaterally, correcting muscular imbalances that often prevent proportional leg growth. This exercise intensely works the gluteus maximus, which is the largest muscle in the human body, and when well developed, accelerates your metabolism through the EPOC effect, burning calories even after the workout. What makes this movement particularly valuable is its ability to isolate each leg individually, preventing the stronger side from compensating for the weaker one, something common in traditional squats. To execute it correctly, position yourself with your back to a bench or elevated surface approximately 24 inches high, rest the top of your back foot on the bench, and keep the front foot firm on the ground at a distance that allows you to descend without the knee going too far past the line of the toes. Descend in a controlled manner until the front thigh is parallel to the ground, keeping the torso relatively upright and the core contracted throughout the movement, then push through the front heel to return to the starting position. I recommend starting with 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions for each leg, prioritizing perfect execution before adding any external load. When adding weight, you can hold dumbbells in your hands or use a barbell resting on your back, but always maintaining impeccable technique. The main errors to avoid are letting the front knee collapse inward during the descent, leaning the torso too far forward losing glute activation, and positioning the foot too close or too far from the bench, which impairs movement mechanics and can cause discomfort in the hip or knee. The main contraindications are acute injuries to the knee or ankle, serious balance problems that could cause falls, and lower back pain that intensifies during the movement, cases where it's better to seek bilateral alternatives with greater stability. Exercise number 5. Stiff leg deadlift with dumbbells or improvised weight. The stiff leg deadlift is a fundamental exercise for developing the hamstrings and glutes, regions frequently neglected but essential both for aesthetics and for preventing knee injuries. This movement works the posterior chain through its hip extension function, different from exercises that focus only on knee flexion, providing complete stimulus for this muscle chain. What many people don't know is that the imbalance between quadriceps and hamstrings is one of the main causes of anterior cruciate ligament injuries, and the stiff leg deadlift helps correct this disproportion. To execute correctly, stand with feet hip-width apart, holding dumbbells or any improvised weight like bottles filled with sand or water. Keep the knees slightly bent throughout the movement without bending them more, and push the hips back while lowering the torso, keeping the spine neutral and the weight close to the legs, descending until you feel an intense stretch in the hamstrings. The secret is to always maintain the lower back with its natural curvature, never rounded, and feel the movement coming from the hip and not from spinal flexion. During the ascent, intensely contract the glutes and hamstrings to return to the starting position, imagining you're pushing the floor with your feet. Execute 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, focusing on feeling the stretch and muscle contraction in each repetition. A common error is confusing the stiff leg deadlift with a traditional deadlift and bending the knees too much. transforming the exercise into a predominantly quadriceps movement. Another serious error is rounding the lower back during the descent, which can cause spinal injuries, and also performing the movement too quickly without controlling the eccentric phase, wasting hypertrophy potential. Contraindications include herniated discs or serious lower back problems, acute hamstring injuries, and extreme lack of flexibility that prevents maintaining a neutral spine, requiring mobility work before including the exercise. Exercise number 4, leg curl machine. The leg curl machine is one of the few exercises that completely isolate the hamstrings through the knee flexion function, working a different angle than the stiff leg deadlift and complementing development of this region. This equipment allows you to focus exclusively on the posterior muscles without interference from other groups, being perfect for those who need to emphasize this neglected area. The movement is relatively simple but extremely effective when executed with correct technique and adequate time under tension. To perform the exercise correctly, adjust the bench so that the machine's rotation axis is aligned with your knee, ankles positioned under the padded roller. Hold the machine's handles to keep the hip fixed on the bench and avoid compensations. Then flex the knees, bringing the heels toward the glutes in a controlled manner. Hold for 1 second at the peak of contraction, intensely contracting the hamstrings, and return slowly to the starting position without letting the weight slam. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress healthily long-term in the bodybuilding world. I recommend 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions, since the hamstrings respond well to slightly higher volumes, and especially control the eccentric phase descending in at least 3 seconds. The main errors to avoid are lifting the hip off the bench during flexion, which activates the glutes and takes focus away from the hamstrings, performing the movement too quickly, losing muscular tension, and using excessive load that forces compensations and prevents full range of motion. Contraindications are acute knee injuries, especially to the cruciate ligament or meniscus, frequent hamstring cramps that may intensify with the exercise, and people with very limited range of motion in the knees who feel pain when flexing them completely. Exercise number 3, glute bridge. The glute bridge is probably the most effective exercise to isolate and develop the gluteus maximus, a muscle that, besides giving volume and shape to the legs, plays a crucial role in pelvis stabilization and prevention of lower back pain. Many men neglect specific glute training out of pure prejudice, but the truth is that strong glutes drastically improve strength in squats, deadlifts, and practically all lower body exercises. This movement allows maximum glute contraction in a position of complete hip extension, something that doesn't happen completely in squats or stiff leg deadlifts. To execute correctly, lie on your back on the floor with knees bent and feet placed at a distance that allows you to form approximately 90 degrees at the knees when at the top of the movement. Keep arms at your sides for stability. Contract the abdomen and push the hips up through the heels until forming a straight line from knees to shoulders. The secret is to intensely contract the glutes at the top and hold for 2 to 3 seconds, avoiding hyperextending the lower back and maintaining focus on hip extension. Descend in a controlled manner without letting the hips completely touch the floor between repetitions. Execute 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions, and when body weight becomes easy, add load by placing a weight plate, dumbbells, or any weight on the hips. For progression, you can also do the single leg bridge, supporting only 1 foot on the ground. The main errors to avoid are pushing with the lower back instead of the glutes, creating that arched bridge that overloads the spine, letting the knees open or close during the movement, losing alignment, and not fully contracting the glutes at the top, performing an incomplete movement. Contraindications include acute lower back pain that worsens with hip extension, knee problems that cause discomfort in the flexed position, and neck injuries that may be aggravated by the lying position. Exercise number 2, leg extension machine. The leg extension machine is the isolation exercise par excellence for the quadriceps, allowing you to work this muscle group completely independently without participation from glutes or hamstrings. Although frequently criticized by some as harmful to the knees, the truth is that when executed correctly and without exaggerated loads, it is safe and extremely effective for developing all portions of the quadriceps, especially the vastus medialis that gives that full leg appearance close to the knee. This exercise is particularly valuable for those who have difficulty feeling the quadriceps working in squats, as it removes all variables and forces the muscle to work in isolation. To execute correctly, sit on the machine adjusting the backrest so that your knees are aligned with the equipment's rotation axis. Position ankles under the padded roller with shins perpendicular to the floor. Hold the side handles to keep the hips fixed on the bench, and extend the knees in a controlled manner until complete extension, holding for 1 second at the top, intensely contracting the quadriceps. Return slowly to the starting position without letting the weight plates slam. An important detail is to keep the toes pointing forward or slightly upward throughout the movement. This maximizes quadriceps activation. I recommend 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, focusing on the mind-muscle connection and feeling the quadriceps burning with each repetition. The main errors to avoid are lifting the hips off the bench, leaning the torso back to help with the movement, using excessive load that forces abrupt movements and unnecessary stress on the knees, performing only partial range without completely extending the knees and losing maximum contraction, and descending too quickly in the eccentric phase, which is where much of the hypertrophic stimulus occurs. The main contraindications are injuries to the patellar ligament or chondromalacia patella in acute state, anterior knee pain that worsens with extension, and advanced knee arthritis, cases where compound exercises with less isolation may be more appropriate. Exercise number 1, calf raises. Calf raises are essential for developing this region that many consider impossible to grow, but that actually responds very well to training when done correctly. The calf is known as the second heart of the body because its contraction helps pump blood back to the heart against gravity, being fundamental not only aesthetically but also for circulatory health and body balance. Strong calves significantly reduce the risk of falls and improve stability in practically all daily movements. The calf muscle is predominantly composed of slow twitch fibers, which is why it responds better to longer sets with 15 to 20 repetitions than to very heavy loads with few repetitions. To execute correctly, position the front part of your feet on a step or platform, leaving the heels free to descend below the platform level. Hold on to something to maintain balance. Lower the heels as much as possible, feeling an intense stretch in the calves. Then push forcefully through the front part of the feet, raising the heels as high as possible and contracting the calves at the top of the movement. The secret is precisely in executing on a step to achieve this complete range of motion, both in the descent and ascent, which activates many more muscle fibers than doing it on the floor. Vary foot position between sets, doing one with feet parallel, another with feet slightly open, and another with feet slightly closed. This ensures all portions of the calves are worked. Execute 4 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions, and when body weight becomes easy, hold dumbbells or any weight in your hands, or do the movement with one leg only. The main errors to avoid are performing the movement with partial range without descending or ascending completely, doing repetitions too quickly using momentum instead of muscle contraction, and not varying foot positioning, always staying at the same angle. Contraindications include Achilles tendon injuries, acute plantar fasciitis, and serious balance problems that could cause falls when on tiptoes. Now comes a bonus exercise that many underestimate, but that can be a game changer. Bonus exercise, wall squat. After learning about these 6 intense exercises, you might be thinking you always need to destroy your joints to build big legs, but there's a smart alternative. The wall squat is an exceptional isometric exercise that develops strength and muscular endurance in the quadriceps without causing practically any impact on the joints, being perfect for beginners, those with joint problems, or anyone wanting to add training volume without overloading the body. This movement works mainly the quadriceps through sustained isometric contraction, but also recruits glutes and core to maintain the position. What makes this exercise particularly valuable is that it doesn't generate shearing forces on the knee, as happens in dynamic movements, being extremely safe even for those with chondromalacia or other joint conditions. To execute correctly, position yourself with your back to a wall. Place feet approximately 24 inches from the wall at shoulder width. Slide your back down the wall, descending until forming 90 degrees at the knees with thighs parallel to the ground. Make sure knees are aligned with ankles and don't go past the line of the toes. Keep your back completely supported on the wall and arms relaxed at your sides or crossed on your chest. Hold this position, intensely contracting the quadriceps and breathing normally. Never hold your breath. Start by holding the position for 30 seconds and do 3 to 4 sets, gradually progressing until you can maintain 60 seconds or more. When you reach that point, you can add difficulty by holding weight in your lap or doing the exercise supported on just one leg. The main errors to avoid are descending too much or too little, not forming the ideal 90 degrees that maximize muscle activation, taking your back off the wall, leaning the torso forward, and transferring work to other muscles, and letting the knees collapse inward, losing alignment and creating unnecessary stress. Contraindications are rare due to the safe nature of the exercise, but include acute knee pain that worsens even in static position, serious lower back problems that intensify when supporting the back on the wall, and uncontrolled high blood pressure, since isometric exercises can temporarily raise blood pressure. If you enjoyed this and are one of those who doesn't like the gym but would like to see home exercises for legs, we have a video appearing right now on the screen showing each one of them better. Be sure to check it out. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.